So here we are, day 2 of the Reef Summit at the Chorleywood TMC Centre. We've actually been around a lot of it already. We're just about to have something to eat, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to get this little video outside the front of the sign while I had the opportunity. So just before you walk into the fish room, they have a couple of these display tanks of TMC with the TMC products in. They both looked really fantastic, really clear water. Everything looked really good in the tanks. Yeah, it was nice. A little bit short on light in this smaller tank, as you can see by the extension on some of those coral, but nevertheless looked very clean. Then the exciting part, walking into the fish room. It was a little bit overwhelming when you first walk in here, a bit noisy, lots to see when you first walk in, but then yeah, we just started kind of walking around bit by bit, looking at all the different tanks they had and what was in there. So then as we walk along the tanks, there was actually a Dr. Zeus soapfish, which apparently is some super rare fish, but it looked quite plain to me. Yeah, might float someone's boat, but not mine. Some unusual stuff in there, as well as things that you would really expect to see. There's some various things. There's some eels in this section here. Copper band, and there was lots of kind of multiple areas where you would see them. There wasn't like all of one type of fish in one area. They were spread out everywhere, so you did have to hunt round all of the tanks. I had some bicolour angels in this tank here, tank bred, and then some tank bred regal tangs. And what else do we have? I think in this lower tank here we have some Venustus angels and coral beauties. Some clownfish. Yeah, you can't have fish supply shop without clownfish. We have some pipefish in here as well. I do love a pipefish. And they had lots of purple tangs, all looking really good. And they're all in these little individual containers, so they don't end up fighting with each other. I had some puffers in here as well. And some dragon wrasse, which you don't see very often. And puffers, there was one there puffed up. Lots of different puffers in there, just a whole selection where they were grouped together here. Some frogfish, some like them, others don't. Lyre-tail hogfish in there as well. Another one. And then we come on to a huge collection of gem tangs that they had in here. They all looked really nice, and yeah, it just seemed to go on. There's more and more of them in there. Some little baby boxfish all bobbing around in the water here. And a slightly bigger cowfish, and then these baby mandarins that I missed the first time round, and it was really hard to get the camera to actually focus on them in the tank. I'm assuming they were tank bred ones, being so small, but yeah, cute little things, and starting to see them more and more in fish shops that I visited. They also had quite a big collection of aquacultured yellow tangs. They look a bit pale when they first come in, but I think from people I've spoken to, as they acclimate a bit more and grow, they colour up. And an Achilles tang in their drain raceway at the end. Then we had some moon jellyfish that my daughter really likes and wants to get her own jellyfish tank, I think. Then onto the coral bays, and it was really good to see that every coral bay was using the TMC wave makers as well. So they put their money where their mouth is and they use them in their facilities. But loads of different corals to look at. A huge variety in there, and some really special ones as well. Here's a sea cucumber, which I don't think I've seen in any fish shop before. And then you just kind of see the extent of all the coral bays here as I look around. Then we come on to some aquacultured scollies, which are kind of hot topic at the moment. They're very popular, and they do look very nice as well. Then onto some clams. I had a lot of clams in the shop. We have some more clams and some coral in the trays here. And then the tray just next one over here had some plate corals and then all of their SPS coral as well. They did also have some really unusual things, like these nudies that they had in. And there was quite a few things like this that you don't see very often in the shops, which was really nice to see. And then we went to go behind the scenes, so we got to see some of the things that you wouldn't normally expect, like the pump room and their filtration room as well. The pump room was incredibly noisy. This is the filtration room. Just everywhere we looked was absolutely spotless. There was nothing, there were no areas where they didn't kind of let us in. There was one area where we weren't allowed to film or take any photos in, which was the acclimation room. It's a completely red room. Then we went on to the area where they're building these coral spawning labs. And this was really interesting. So they're making these modular units that have everything you need to spawn corals. And then they're shipping them all around the world to these different places where they're really kind of trying to push the conservation. And it was really interesting to see these, and again, lots of TMC products used in them, as well as Apex and other things. You can see some of the engine bars there. But the idea is you can spawn the corals or collect the sperm and eggs from the corals and then settle them in these and start the early stages of getting them settled on the plates in here, and then you can move over to the raceways.
So on the other side over there you saw that we had the settlement plugs. So the idea is that once they're settled, we'd move them from just an air-driven system to water-driven on that side, and then we'd move them across into these systems. And the idea with these is that you want to be making it scalable. You're working with numbers, so you don't want to be sort of taking them out and moving them around. You want to be taking them and sort of carrying them around, dropping them in. So you've got them so that there's that little silicon sandwich to keep them in place over there. And then you can also charge more and move them around a lot. So they would come to this area. This system is really sort of an outdoor area where you've got some shade getting over the top of it, so that you can regulate the light. Each of these trays takes 216 of these little plugs as well. There's 10 tray per 2 meter section, and it's modular. So both sides? Both sides, exactly. So you'd have 2,160 of these little plugs on each 2 meter sections. So that times by 4, so you're heading towards 9,000 little plugs.
We also got to look in their showroom where they had a couple of demos. This little bioreactor thing was pretty cool. So it's been a really fantastic couple of days at the TMC Reef Summit. The Horniman Museums yesterday was a really interesting day with talks from Sam and Jamie and looking at everything they're doing there. And then today, following up at TMC Chorleywood, getting to look around all the facilities here and see everything they're doing with the bio CSL, the coral spawning stuff, and having these ready-made, just drop in place kind of coral spawning labs was really interesting, a great innovation. Really appreciate the opportunity from TMC to come and see all this, really grateful. Hopefully you found that interesting too. If you have, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in another video really soon.